Hey, Focus Learners, and welcome back. Today, we're tackling one of the absolute biggest misconceptions out there in the digital asset space. We're going to break down exactly why a fixed token supply is actually an incomplete investment thesis if it isn't backed up by a real, functioning product layer. And to really dig into this, we'll be using the privacy-first ecosystem Ciforus as our benchmark case study today.
So I want to start by posing a pretty bold question right off the bat. Is a fixed token supply enough? For years, there's been this pervasive myth floating around the crypto space that simply slapping a hard cap on a token automatically equals long-term value, right? People see fixed supply and they immediately think scarcity, which then translates to price appreciation. But as we're going to see in this explainer, scarcity without a genuine reason to actually use the asset, well, it's really just an illusion.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our structured roadmap for today. We'll unpack the fixed supply trap, examine the Ciforus token structure and its product ecosystem, connect that to real utility and economics, discuss diligence guardrails, and finally, go over how to verify and review this data for yourself.
Starting off with Section 1, the fixed supply trap.
You know, very often, projects will use a limited supply as just a marketing gimmick. On one side of the coin, we have fixed supply only. This is essentially a hollow contract with zero ecosystem behind it. It's just tokens sitting there waiting for some speculative narrative to pump them up. On the other side, though, we have fixed supply plus utility, and this is where things get interesting. Here, the fixed supply actually matters because the token is actively utilized for things like discounts, staking, or a usage-linked burn that's tied directly to a real, working application.
Moving right along to Section 2, the Ciforus token structure. 100 million. Ciforus has established this as their absolute maximum fixed supply. There will literally never be more than this, putting a strict, mathematically enforced hard cap in place right from day one.
Let's walk through the hard facts here. Alongside that 100 million fixed supply, this contract has absolutely no minting capabilities, which means zero inflation, period. It's deployed as an ERC20 token on the Ethereum mainnet. And what the source material makes incredibly clear is that this contract is simple, it's transparent, and it's immutable. There are no hidden owner controls, no sneaky pause functions, and no hidden taxes. Just pure, straightforward token architecture.
All right, Section 3, the Ciforus product ecosystem.
Now, what's absolutely fascinating here is how Ciforus proves they did the heavy lifting way before their public sale even happened. They already have a functioning ecosystem deployed. We're talking about a private email module for a premium identity, wallet messaging for real crypto communication, encrypted storage with zero-knowledge file protection, and secure notes. Plus, it features pay-links for crypto-native payment flows, and the whole shebang is anchored by a security center equipped with wallet identity and strict recovery controls.
Which naturally brings us to Section 4. Real utility and economics.
This is exactly where the token and the ecosystem connect. Ciforus actually aligns user participation directly with platform growth. For instance, using the token for subscriptions grants you a 20% discount at checkout. It dictates access direction and tier upgrades, powers platform rewards, and integrates right into those pay links we just talked about. So we're looking at functional integration into a product economy here, not just a bunch of speculative hype.
And this brilliantly illustrates their transparent, usage-linked deflation model. When the token is actually used for platform services, 40% of it is permanently burned to a dead wallet. Another 40% is allocated straight to the treasury to fund ongoing operations, and the remaining 20% goes directly to liquidity support.
So how does this play out in the real world? Here is the step-by-step cycle. First, a user spends the token for a platform service. Second, because the smart contract literally has no privileged admin burn function, 40% of those tokens are manually transferred to a public dead wallet on a scheduled weekly cycle. Finally, that remaining 60% is securely routed to the treasury and liquidity support. Real usage feeds real burn.
Shifting gears a bit, let's look at Section 5, the diligence guardrails.
I want to read you this direct quote straight from their documentation. It says, "There are no price promises or risk-free claims. Ciforus expects reviewers to inspect the docs, audit contract, and product state." This is such a vital reminder for all of us. A deflationary model does absolutely not guarantee price appreciation. Market value depends entirely on adoption and execution, so you have to manage your risk.
And finally, Section 6,
verify, and review.
We always want to empower you to do your own research, and thankfully, all the facts here are totally public. You can review the main ecosystem at Ciforus.com, check out the token details at Ciforus.com/token, and find presale info at Ciforus.com/token/presale. Most importantly, you can read the independent LexGuard security audit at audits.lexguard.io, and you can verify the immutable code yourself directly on Etherscan using their public contract address.
So, we return to the core thesis of our explainer today. A fixed supply is a fantastic mathematical starting point, for sure, but it means very little in a vacuum. It requires a real product, real utility, and real economic integration, which is exactly like the framework Ciforus has built here. So I'll leave you with this provocative question to chew on as you rethink your crypto strategies. Going forward, will you demand real product utility before you invest your capital? Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive, and keep learning.